A famous French writer once said, "A goal without a plan is just a wish." And I love that quote because it's so very true. Having a vision without a plan to accomplish the vision, it's useless, right? It gets you nowhere. Hi, I'm Valerie, and today on Business by Design podcast, I'll walk you through exactly how to bridge the gap between a big, exciting plan and consistent action. No more spinning your wheels or trying to figure out where do I start, right? Join me today and learn exactly how to take the first step. See you on the podcast.
Hello, I'm Valerie Priester, and this is the Business by Design podcast. Are you a woman entrepreneur who absolutely loves what you do and enjoy helping others, but for some reason you can't seem to get out of your own way? You can't seem to get out of your head and really create the level of success that you desire? I get it. I truly understand. I've been there too. You see, I spent years searching for what do they call it? The holy grail, the secret sauce, right? To success. And what I learned along the way is all of the women that I knew that were very successful had one thing in common, and that was their way of thinking. Now, I know you may be saying it can't be that simple, can't be that easy, right? But the truth is, the number one key or secret, however you want to label it, to success is your way of thinking. It's your mindset. It's what you believe and what you think is possible for you. And so that's exactly why I created this podcast. I want to help you get out of your head, get out of your own way. I want to help you get into more profits, more passion, and more power. I want to help you to shift away from old beliefs and release old ways of thinking, self sabotaging conversations, and help you shift into new beliefs that support your goals and bring lasting success. I want to help you design your victory so you can create the business and life that you desire. So if you're ready for some real talk about how to do that, if you're ready to really make the shift and move into greater possibilities and greater success, you're in the right place.
There's plenty to be said about commitment, but the truth is, you can have all the clarity in the world, but if you're not consistently acting on it, you'll still feel stuck. And it'll be hard for you to really accomplish all of those amazing goals and plans that you have, right? Sometimes we set these bold goals and we map out like a brilliant plan, but the hard part is the follow through day after day, the consistency. I can't tell you how many how many entrepreneurs like dislike that word. I won't say hate, but I know they dislike that word, but consistency is key, right? So what I want you to know is that it's totally normal to feel that way and to really experience that. It's often the hardest part of the process is staying consistent and following through on the day-to-day steps that help you reach the goals that you've set for yourself, right? So in this episode, I want to share how you can stick to your plan even when life gets busy, because it does, or when you lose that initial excitement about your plan. Because you know how we are. We get excited about this new thing that we're doing or we're hoping to accomplish, and that excitement may not always last. I mean, think about, at the beginning of the year, January 1st, where we set all of these New Year's resolutions or goals, that we want to achieve, and we're so excited about them. And like 2, 3 weeks in, we've already lost that excitement, right? So I want to help you learn how to stick to your plan through all of that, right? I'm going to cover practical tactics, mindset, of course, and accountability methods to keep you on track and keep you moving forward. Because ultimately, business by design isn't just about dreaming. It's about committing to those dreams and then turning them into results. So let's dive in. Of course, the very first thing that you want to become aware of is that there's this simple truth that big goals don't magically happen overnight. They don't, right? They're a sum of our daily actions and decisions. That's that day to day follow through that I talked about, right? Even if you have like a well thought out strategy and plan, you have to chip away at it each day, each week, each month in order to see real progress. For example, imagine you want to grow your client base by 30% this quarter, right? If you only think about that 30% jump, but never break it down into how many discovery calls do you need to make, right? How many uh, emails do you need to send out this month? How many, marketing strategies do you need to put in place? If you never think about those things, you'll spin your wheels. So remember that daily action, while it may be difficult, it's the small steps that get you there. Those small steps add up in a big way and help you to accomplish those goals. The next thing is, of course, staying motivated, right? Staying motivated beyond what we call the honeymoon phase, right? That's that excitement where, oh my God, I'm so excited about this new thing that I want to do. How do you stay motivated beyond that, right? Again, we all start out excited. That new goal and or new plan that you have, it all feels fresh. It feels like it's full of possibilities. But it's after that initial excitement fades that the real commitment matters. So, one thing that helps us to stay committed is when we reconnect with our why. Because, we do a lot of things sometimes just to do them, but there has to be a strong why that supports that. And when we reconnect why, that will help to push you towards that goal. It will help you to keep moving forward, right? Whatever that goal is. It could be financial freedom. It could be, being in a position where you spend more time with your family, time freedom. It can be making an impact, a greater impact in your community, whatever that looks like. But you have to have a strong why that supports you and helps to keep you motivated until you reach and accomplish the goal that you're looking for. So here's a tip for you on, reconnecting with your why. Write down your why. Put it on a sticky note, right? Put it where you can see it every single day. Maybe that's on your laptop, it could be on your bathroom mirror, but put it where you can see it every single day. And that daily reminder is what can keep you motivated when things get tough, because they will. And life will happen, right? It's the same for all of us. I my favorite mentor, Les Brown, always says, either you're going into a situation or coming out of a situation, right? And that's true for all of us. And so when life happens, we have to have something to hold on to that keeps us motivated and keeps us moving forward towards those goals. So that is reconnecting with your why. Now, here's the next one that's so very important that so many people overlook or take it for granted, and that is accountability. You must have some way of holding yourself accountable. And can you do it on your own? Absolutely not. If you really think about it, if you really dig deep and you're honest with yourself, you tried that before. It doesn't work, because the things that we don't want to do, we'll just push them under the seat and say, you know what, I'll do that later. And procrastination sets in and we never do it, right? So accountability is very important. Commitment can be lonely if you're trying to do it all by yourself. But one of the easiest ways to ensure that you don't fall off track is to set up an accountability system. I have an accountability partner. I've had one for years, especially being in business and being an entrepreneur, right? So that's one option. An accountability partner. You need to find a friend, a colleague, someone who's working towards goals of their own, someone who understands setting goals and working towards them, right? Someone who believes in your vision, believes in you, and wants to see you succeed, right? And how you would set up this relationship is you can set up to meet either weekly, sometimes daily, right? Bi-weekly, whatever works for your schedule, but you want to set up a regular meeting where you share your progress, where you brainstorm solutions, and where you keep each other on track. For me and my accountability partner, accountability partner in my business. I work with her pretty much every day. She's actually the tech lead in my company, and what we do is we really hold each other accountable, so much so that we exchange our schedules every week, right? So that I can see what she's saying that she's going to work on. She can see what I have committed to work on. And then we hold each other accountable as to whether or not we're doing that. That's one way. Another way is public commitments. Now, some people use social media, right, as a way to announce their goals. And you could do it in a small community on social media, or you could do it in a small community, even locally, right? But announce your goal and letting someone else know that this is what I'm working towards. That helps you to stay on track because no one ever wants to admit to someone else that I didn't do what I said I was going to do, right? So find ways to set up accountability. The other thing is overcoming setbacks, right? Now, let's be real. Again, life happens. Clients will back out, tech tools will fail you, personal stuff gets in the way, right? But when these setbacks occur, it's easy to feel like, your commitment wasn't strong enough. Sometimes we beat ourselves up in that way, but that's not true, right? Bumps in the road don't mean that you don't have everything that it takes to accomplish what you want, or it certainly doesn't mean that you're not doing everything that you should or that you're doing something wrong. It means none of that. It's just a part of the process, it's a part of the journey, right? So, for this, you want to maybe have a plan B, right? Have a plan B ready for when things get off track or when things don't work the way that you want them to work, right? If you rely on, let's say, a specific tool for marketing or a certain strategy for marketing, think ahead and think of some alternatives if one way doesn't work, right? What happens is this flexibility will keep you from really stalling out completely and not moving forward, right? So when this happens, have a plan B. And then finally, this you want to measure your progress and celebrate your wins. Commitment isn't just about working hard, it's also about recognizing how far you've come. That's one of the things that we as entrepreneurs often forget to do for ourselves, right? We overlook the accomplishments that we've made. We spend more time looking at what hasn't worked yet or what's not there, but spend more time looking at how far you've come and your accomplishments. And when you do this on a consistent basis, when you measure how far you've come on a consistent basis, this keeps you honest about what's working and what's not working. And it's not just this arbitrary thought that you have in your mind, like nothing's working, because that's never true. We'll say it, but it's never true, right? So, for example, if you've just landed, let's say, two new clients, take the time to acknowledge that accomplishment. That's huge, right? A little celebration can fuel your fire to the next step. So celebrate yourself. Now, here's your immediate takeaway. I want you to pick one goal that you're committed to achieving this month. Okay? Identify one action that you can take today. Oh, yeah, today. And then maybe send that to someone who you want to be your accountability partner, right? Or someone that you know you can trust to encourage and support you, right? Send that to them so that they can see what you have committed to working on, right? If you don't have an accountability partner, find one. Do it today. It's so very important, right? Whether you want to do it with an individual or if you want to do it via social media. But make sure that you implement the accountability tool to help you stay focused and to help you stay motivated. Okay? Now, it may feel vulnerable when you're reaching out to others to hold you accountable, but when we have someone else looking at what we're committing to doing, it gives us that extra push, right? And sometimes that extra push is what we need to stay on track, right? So, just to recap, commitment starts with daily actions, right? And those daily actions are what keep you moving forward. It's also important to reconnect to your why. It's important to establish an accountability method to keep you moving forward and hold you accountable. It's so important that you don't get stuck in the setbacks. And then it's even more important that you celebrate your small wins. All right. Overall, building your business by design is about more than just big ideas. It's about consistently showing up for those ideas that you have, those big goals, until they become your reality. So I hope today's episode inspires you to stick with your plan and see your vision through, even when it gets tough, because I know that you can do this. Until next time, remember, designing your victory is a choice. Start by committing to your goals. See you next time.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Business by Design podcast. If you love what you're hearing each week, let me know by leaving a rating and a review. And don't forget to follow the show so you don't miss out on proven mindset techniques, strategies, and tools to help you design your victory and create the business and life you desire. Also, if you're ready to talk about the business and life that you really want, head on over to valeriepriester.com and schedule your private business breakthrough clarity call. Until next week, remember, designing your victory is a choice. Start today.